A very warm welcome back to this channel yet again, you lovely moon stompers out there. I'm Mrs. Moon Stomper.
And I'm Mr. Moon Stomper, as if you couldn't guess, but I figured you already knew that anyway.
I nearly forgot my name.
Yeah, I know, when you like that. Yeah, okay, fair enough. It's been one of those weeks, hasn't it, Mrs. Moon Stomper?
Gosh.
It certainly has. But on a better note, the channel is doing absolutely amazing. You guys rock. We're growing and growing and growing. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk, isn't it? Really is.
Yes.
Yeah, and congratulations to the prize winners. Your prizes should be in the post now.
It's always in its way to
if you haven't got them already. And we'll have another prize giveaway coming up.
Coming up, yes.
So, Mrs. Moonstomper, what has been in rotation for you this week?
Well, I've ditched my Northern Soul for a bit. I haven't deft it all together. I'm on a 60s edit, listening to Herman's Hermit, the Beatles, the Stones, Hollies again, Bee Gees, you name it.
Beats.
Mersey Beats,
oh,
yes.
Yeah, okay, fair enough, yeah.
Just loving the 60s vibe, man.
Love that, really do. Okay, yeah,
what about you, Mr. Moonstar? What's been on your rotation?
Yeah, bit of Motorhead this week. Bit of level 42 for some bizarre reason.
Okay.
Bit of Jean-Michel Jarre. Bit of Cockney Rejects again.
Oh yes.
Bit of Discharge as well. Bit of GBA. Bit of everything.
Gosh,
actually.
A pinch of this and a pinch of
that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Add it to the pot.
Yeah, and a bit of Rush as well.
Nice.
And why not? So there you go. What about you guys at home? What have you been listening to this week? Down in the comments. Let us know as ever. Yeah. So there you go. Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
So, Mrs. Moonstomper.
Yes, what can I do you for, Mr. Moonstomper?
What's today's show all about? It's a bit obvious, really. That's why you tuned in.
Discharge.
Yeah, sounds like you need to go to the doctors.
I know.
Oh God. Okay.
Take some suppository or something for it.
Oh, what a name! What a what a name!
Oh dear.
Yeah.
It can mean something else. It means lots of things as well.
Well, you can get discharged from the army, couldn't you? I suppose. Yeah.
Or discharge yourself from the hospital.
Yeah. There you go.
Wherever.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, it's another English hardcore punk band.
One to the list.
Yeah, absolutely. Formed in '77 in Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire, which is the home of pottery for some reason.
Oh yeah.
The home of amazing dart players.
Phil the Power Taylor.
Phil the Power Taylor, the best dart player ever, and the home of Lemmy from Motorhead. Go check out the new statue outside Stoke-on-Trent train station that was unveiled the other day of Lemmy. Absolutely amazing.
Lemmy.
Yeah. Rock, and the band's known for influencing several subgenres of extreme music, and their songs have been covered by some of the biggest names in heavy metal.
Oh yeah.
And other genres as well.
Yeah.
Often known as D-beat for some reason after Discharge, and it's the band's distinctive
like the sound and the feel.
Drum beat.
Oh, the drum beats, yes.
And covered by many a thrash band as well. So
was Metallica one of them?
Yes, that was indeed. So I think it was.
Thought it was.
Was it? I think it was Garage Incorporated, where they did Free Speech for the Dumb. Go check that track out. I just love that. I love that. But this is I would say it's a very political band as well.
Oh,
very left-wing political. However, each their own. But characterised by their minimalist approach to music, using really heavy and distorted, grinding guitar sounds and raw shouting vocals.
No sound anywhere.
Yeah. Often compared to like a political speech, that sucks.
Standing on your soapbox and shouting.
That's fair enough. Whatever.
Each to their own.
With sort of anarchist lyrics and pacifist themes. The band's. It's. What would you describe that as? So. Yeah, politics. Okay, not my thing. Absolutely not my thing at all. So I would say they paved the way for politically motivated, musically intense, sort of deeply confrontational bands. Fair enough. And explicit as well with their politics as well. Almost like revolutionary.
Yes.
So Yeah,
you wonder.
love the music, but the politics you can actually
Keep
screw
over
that. Yeah,
Yes.
but okay, so I would say a lot of this sort of hardcore punk grew from its sort of pub rock origins.
Oh yes.
Of the early 70s. So think of
Like the Clash, maybe.
the Clash, Eddie and the Hot
Stranglers,
Rods, that
maybe.
sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh yes.
And then it was sped up like 5 times over and just became anti-establishment, sort of very leftist. Leftist.
Leftist.
Yeah, which I would never say that.
That paved the way for like various extreme metal styles and
Thrash
such
bands.
as thrash bands.
Yeah, thrash metal.
Metal playing bands.
Yeah, thrash metal, black metal. So when I think of black metal, I think of Venom straight away.
Okay.
When I think of thrash metal, I think of like the Big Four, then your Exodus and
yes.
your bands like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean,
Wasn't Metallica we spoke about earlier? They're included. Anthrax and Machine Head also.
yeah, Machine Head especially.
Yeah,
I mean,
Sepultura as well.
well, Sepultura were way later, and they're Brazilian as well.
Yes,
so it's,
I was way later.
what was his name? Max Cavalera or whatever his
Something
name was.
like
Yeah, okay. Roots,
think it-
bloody Roots.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Arch Enemy as well and Soulfly in the mix.
Yeah, no, those were a bit. I think those were a bit later for me, but they covered all of those bands have covered Discharge's tracks.
Okay, wow.
But notably, probably Metallica has been the most sort of famous with Free Speech for the Dumb on Garage Incorporated.
God,
So-
that's such an influence on
Well,
other later bands.
It's an influence
No.
on sort of like 2 generations of metal. I would say at least 2 generations.
Yes.
Not the original stuff, because the original stuff is probably that's the, you know, I mean, you know, your Judas Priest and your Black Sabbath stuff like that.
I'm with you.
So, looking at this band now, right, I'm gonna hand on heart. I don't know a great deal about them.
No.
But now I know it was it Tez Roberts?
Tez Roberts.
Tez Roberts' vocals.
The singer, yes.
And I put
Royston Rainey.
Royston Rainey.
Rainey Wainwright. It's a tongue twister, Rainey Wainwright.
Don't even, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Rainey Wainwright, that's it, yes.
But didn't they have Tez Roberts' younger brother as well, Anthony,
Yes,
Anthony Bones?
Anthony
Yeah, on lead guitar.
Bones.
Then Nigel Bamford on bass or something like that. And then, but I don't know how many. I don't know how many sort of musicians this band have been through.
It's probably had a few like the rest of the bands we mentioned.
Quite possibly.
But Anthony Acco, his nickname Acco.
Acco Axon.
Axon, yes. On the on drums.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, but again, it's another band who were inspired and influenced by the Sex Pistols.
Oh yes.
The
Strikes Again.
probably the
Sex
Damned and the
Pistols.
Clash as well, but the Sex
Okay.
Pistols as well, because you can hear it. But it's just the Sex Pistols sped up 3 times over.
Okay.
Yeah, and then did they have a female manager?
Yes, they did. Yes.
Was it
Tanya Rich, her name was.
Oh right.
Yes.
Okay. But they. So I don't know a lot about this band. I know bits, but I know they supported the Rots.
Yes.
So if you don't know who the Rots are, we're going to feature the Rots in a later programme.
Okay.
Babylon is burning.
Staring at the
yeah.
rude boys.
And then you got obviously the Clash and the
Clash and
Damned.
the Damned, yes, they mentioned.
Vicky Hall in Hanley, which is in Stoke-on-Trent,
Stoke,
Victoria
yes.
Hall. And then they sort of began touring.
Touring, yes.
So
Those days.
yeah, in terms of sort of rock, that they signed to Clay Records.
Oh yes.
I'm not sure what they did originally, but Clay Records is a Stoke-on-Trent record label. And I think was their first EP.
EP.
Was it Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing? That's where Free Speech for the Dumb comes from.
Right.
Okay, fair
This
enough.
was in 1980 to 82.
Okay, Okay, I don't actually know when that came out. All I remember is that's the first ever Discharge track I ever heard. Was Free Speech for the Dumb, and I was hooked.
Okay.
But I didn't really take it that much
Take
further.
it to heart.
Well, no, not really, because like sort of it just wasn't my thing at the time. If that makes sense, it just wasn't.
I suppose people grow as you get older. You grow to appreciate such bands, which you never did before.
Yeah, exactly. But I think originally, because they had that Sex Pistols influence, I think they dropped it eventually, and that's where they sort of retooled the sound and just went like really. When I say heavy, like really, really heavy.
Yes.
That was heavier than heavier, if that makes sense.
Heavy as heavy you can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Very. Would you even say Motorhead-ish? Motorhead. You
I
could
think
hear Motorhead would have influenced them.
Yes.
At that point, but this band were like really. I mean, you think they exploited a heavy and fast, and GBH. This band is just like
these have gone one better.
Yeah, and this band was more influential as well, and they were darker. It was a very dark edge to this band.
Oh, yes.
Very nihilistic sort of.
Proper harder, darker edge, like you just mentioned.
A lot of violent
really
sort
harder.
of violent lyrics.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Flipping
Yeah.
Ooh, scary.
So yeah, a bit of an enigma. I would say. But
There was into anarchy as well, weren't they?
Yeah,
the lyrics were like anarchist.
yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, yeah, and then the effects of nuclear warfare. Now, growing up in those days, that was a thing.
Okay.
So it was always the threat of, if you're of a certain age, it was the threat of nuclear war.
You see people protesting in the streets with a CND.
Well,
placard.
yeah, green and common for one. But we, I remember those public, those
adverts that
those public adverts, in case of like nuclear war, and it's just like whoa. And that was bloody scary. That was, it was like,
being little as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Puts the fear into to one.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But the Cold War was like real, and that's, I suppose, where they got it from.
Yes.
But I would say very, almost, dare I say, crass.
Oh, the band's crass.
Yeah, dare I say, but not as heavier than the Crass.
Okay.
But but their LPs very black and white, very sort of black and white photography sort of style.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I think photos sometimes you get them more prominent in black and white than they're in colour.
Yeah, I must admit I do.
Depends on the
sort of
setting, the scene.
But yeah, was it the impaled dove artwork from the 1930s John Hartfield anti-war poster?
Oh yes.
Was it an impaled dove on a bayonet or something?
Flipping heck.
Yeah.
Just imagine the animal rights activists having a field day with that.
Yeah.
You can't do that to a defenceless bird.
Yeah.
Oh dear me.
But yeah, I mean, once they sort of got that new lineup, is when I think it's when they signed to Clay Records.
Yes.
Correct us in the comments if we're wrong. Like I say, I don't know a great deal about this band, but it just seems rude not to do it as we've done like the other two, UK 82.
Okay.
But I think, was it 1980 when they signed to Clay? And the first single, was it Realities of War?
Yes, it was. Yes.
And I think that got into the indie charts. But I've got a feeling that it was John Peel who had something to do with that again. Why
Good
wouldn't
old
they?
Peely.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that single did okay in the charts, but I'm not sure how long it was in there for. Apart from like a period of time, and it got quite high up, I think.
Number 5.
Oh, there you go.
Got to number 5.
Mrs. Moon Stomp Her Nose. Yeah. There you go. So, yeah.
Wow, gosh, just think if it wasn't for John Peel, where would all these bands be?
Well, I often think that as well. But didn't Tez Roberts leave the band?
Oh dear.
I think he did, and then I think it was someone. Was it Keith Haynes, and then Dave Ellesmere, Bambi, from a group called The Insane. I think
so.
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think that Ellesmere sort of stayed around for too long.
Okay.
Then it was like Gary Maloney of the Verucas, was it Gary the Verucas? Another strange band. We ought to do a show about the Verucas as well. That's quite a good band actually.
Flipping heck.
Yeah, and then I think they got the first number. They got an indie #1 as well. I think. If I remember, was it Visions of War or something like that?
Visions of War, yes.
Yeah. Which was like quite sort of dark, quite sort of heavy.
Another dark, heavy sound.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
gosh.
And then they had some
really morbid photos, didn't they?
Well, yeah, but morbid. Lots of songs, morbid sounding songs, Maimed and Slaughtered, Does the System Work, and Mania for Conquest, that sort of thing.
Showing actual dead bodies.
Yeah, but that's like, what are they called? Crust bands. Okay, fair enough, That's, to me it's all, to me it's all rock and roll to me.
Yes.
Call yourself what you want to call yourself. You're still rock and roll. That, in my opinion, other people might think differently.
It is rock and roll. I would agree.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Whichever way you butter it up.
But yeah, hardcore, heavy metal. Hardcore, I would say, had a lot more anger.
Oh yes.
That's what I think. It was a lot more. It was just. It was more political, more angry.
That's it. Putting the views out there, making a point.
Now, there's a thing. I think there was. I was reading something the other week, and I can't remember what I was reading. It was something about the happiest music genres.
Oh.
And the happiest music genre was actually heavy metal.
Okay.
But I can't remember what the survey was.
No.
If you read that, put it down in the comments. So I can't remember where I read that from.
Okay.
But yeah, there you go. Weird. But I kind of get that though, because you don't really get in heavy metal. Yes, you get the doom and gloom, but you don't really get the politics and we hate life things, do you?
It's the sound.
Yeah,
exactly. It makes you want to jump up.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Out of your seat and.
Yeah.
Just keep on rocking.
Yeah, it does. But apparently, so sort of. Switching back to Discharge, right? They're right. The 1981 EP, Why? Apparently, that was the one that revolutionised everything.
Okay.
Apparently, for hardcore thrash, death metal, and grind.
It did pave the way for that genre.
I don't know. I really don't know.
So it was said anyway.
Yeah, but then you've got it's an anti-war, one of the best anti-war records ever made. Yeah, Celtic Frost said there were a revolution.
Right.
Venom as well. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. At that point in time, I wasn't really into these guys.
No.
I just knew of them, and I liked a couple of the tracks.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I would say is they were unlike any other band.
Unique.
Yeah, I would say so. GBH were something and the Exploited were something, but these were...
Well, then again, when I say unique, not really unique in a certain way, but like what we said before, other bands have had influence and with a similar sound.
Yeah,
they were just a tiny bit unique.
They did, but it's what I'm saying is, from a band that starts in little old Stoke-on-Trent and influences. Well, there weren't massive bands at the time, but influences thrash, and then for thrash to pick up like that, and then become absolutely just huge. Like
huge.
Massive,
like an explosion.
Yeah, absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Metallica. You couldn't get much bigger than Metallica at the time, could you?
No.
Really, to be honest with you. Once they sort of got to the late 80s, early 90s, they were just wow. I saw them at Wembley.
Wow.
In 19. was it 1989 or 1990? I can't remember. When they came out with the Black Album.
I bet you properly enjoyed that, did you?
It was alright.
Enjoyed the...
It was alright, but I saw them at the NEC as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Their first, was it the first full-length album was Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing.
Yeah, it's from 82.
Known as HN, SN, SN.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently that was like one of the
#1 punk albums.
I would...
You beg to differ, Mr. Moonstomper?
Having heard it, I would say it's brilliant. I would say it's absolutely brilliant. But
it was ranked in a poll by the Terrorizer magazine. That's where that was. That's how they got ranked.
yeah, I mean, but you know, it's where they start calling it heavy metal, and to me, that's not metal.
No.
It's not. It's not metal. You know, it's in the true sense of the word. You know, the epitome for heavy metal for me is actually Judas Priest.
Oh yes.
You know, that's heavy metal full stop. You can't get much more heavy metal than
Can't get
than
more
that.
metal.
You know, Black Sabbath may have started it, but Judas Priest became
Took it up and ran with it.
They just became heavy metal.
Yes.
You know, and then other ones just, you know, that call them what they want. But anyway, it's all still rock and roll.
Yes.
But a great LP, just a really, really great LP.
Yes.
It's a punch in the face, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And then, I mean, even Scott Ian as well. He, you know, from Anthrax, he said, you know, that's, you know, it's brutal. He said the LP's absolutely brutal. And I mean, yes, it is, but I still don't think,
Yes.
in my humble opinion, it's not the best.
It's one of the best though, maybe.
Maybe top 5.
Okay.
Maybe top 5.
Yes.
But then what I've got to do is put my colours to the mast and say what I think's better.
Oh right.
But I'd say
As you do.
I'd say never mind the bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols better, because that was before.
Yeah.
And that's what I got their inspiration from. Yeah.
Indeed.
But yeah, I mean, so these guys would often appear with GBH and the Exploited.
Okay.
So they'd sort of go along.
Tour
with
the
that.
UK, tour all around the country.
Because it was all part of the same sort of deal, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, Mrs. Moonstomper, what I think we should do, I think we should take a bit of a break. So, guys, watch this, and we will be back in a moment.
View.
The first time I ever heard a Discharge record was up in our drummer's house, and he thought he put it on at the wrong speed.
Yeah.
And that was true, though.
Well, yeah, my parents
yeah,
done
yeah,
that.
yeah,
They were like,
yeah.
there's got to be something wrong here.
You know,
I remember telling my mum when I came up with it, because I had the name Discharge from the album Nevermind the Bollocks. All right. From a song called Bodies. And I heard that word and I'm like, wow, what does that mean? And I went into the kitchen when my mum was in there and I'm like, Mum, I've just come up with a name for my band. Oh yes, son, what is it? So I was like, Discharge. And she's like, you dirty little swine. I was like, instantly thought that to
That's
keep
the one.
her. That's the one
That's the
I'm
one.
having.
Hi, Exit Festival, this is Rady from Discharge, speaking to Agoraphobic News. And here we go. Hey, Mills here with Discharge at Exit Festival. Hello, guys. Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So your band has just turned 40. I mean, you have a big legacy behind you. Yeah, I guess so. You know, it doesn't feel like 40 years, but there you go. It's a walk in the park. I mean, even Lemmy is not here with us, and your band is still playing. I mean, yeah, sadly he's not. But you know, we kind of became internationally known about the same time as Motorhead. You know, prior to that, we'd existed for about 3-4 years. You know, but we did get played with all the old, you know, Clash and everybody in the beginning. So we were there at the front, and then kind of forge your own sound, you know, which we kind of, people say we've left a legacy, you know, but and we're here doing what we love doing, you know, and still doing it. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And when did you join the band?
I've always been in the band, really. Yeah,
From-
I was the original drummer, Taz.
You invented the D-beat, right?
Yes, that's right.
So you're here from the start.
Huh?
You're in band from the start, right?
Of course, yeah.
And
It was just a pattern, you know.
can you
I
dis-
guess it was my pattern.
Can you tell me, were there some drummers that had impact on your playing with all this D-beat stuff?
Oh,
Or you just...
my favorite drummers back then was Pete Davis from the UK Subs and Filthy Animal Taylor from Motorhead. Yes,
Overkill.
yes, they were massive influences on me, but obviously I couldn't play as well as them, so I just like stumbled around and came up with my own version of what they were doing, which was the D-beat, you know, and then all of a sudden that just exploded. Unfortunately, when I left the band.
And do you like more extreme drumming like blast beats or...
Oh yes, I appreciate all styles of drummers now. These days are just fantastic, you know, just as incredible drummers, you know. And to have drummers that tell me that they were influenced from what I was doing back in the day is a fantastic admiration. Yes.
And Discharge is pretty political band. Did like the nuclear scare in the 80s have an impact on your music, or Margaret Thatcher's?
I guess you know where we were brought up was kind of a working class area, and everything was black and white, you know, and there wasn't much going for anybody, and people had no jobs. You know, the same scenario you get all over the world at that time, you know. So there was the angst. We just put guitars to it and.
We just went with the flow of what we were doing, and before you knew it, we were redeemed as creators.
And it's funny because, you know, in the US, if there wasn't for Ronald Reagan, there would have been no hardcore and thrash metal as we know it. Was that the case with the hardcore in the UK and Margaret Thatcher, or not?
Well, Margaret Thatcher certainly fueled the fires of, you know, hardcore, but I think any politician would in the UK, you know. I think well, even the class system has kind of disappeared into nothing over there, but it's always been the bane of everybody's life, the UK, you know. It's not the best place to live, but it isn't the worst either.
You don't know what Serbia is, I mean, really?
Well, I don't, but I've watched documentaries, you know, that's all I can go by. But I did, whether it's fortunate or not, managed to play most of the Eastern Bloc countries before communism fell, so I have some understanding what went on, you know.
Can you share that experience? I mean, you guys, can you recall that?
Yeah, I can recall the first time I ever went to about 82, into Yugoslavia, which is then a really heavy country, yeah. I mean, before we even got there, leaving Italy, one thing, the equipment, guitars had to be smuggled in. Oh, I've lost light.
There goes the electricity.
And it's all gone dark on agoraphobia.
Oh.
Okay, back to basics.
So we had some technical difficulties here.
It's all
But it is a full moon.
Yeah, that's...
it's all sign language from here on.
Do you love full moon?
I love the full moon, yes.
Fucking great.
It's going to bring out the werewolves.
This is pretty good. This is yours, I believe, Serbian.
Yeah.
You want to taste?
Yeah.
We're told it's your moonshine.
It's called Akia.
Yeah.
You know. And what is your Cold War story? I mean,
Cold War stories.
I mean, as a band that goes through the 80s and perceives the...
What struck me was when the Berlin Wall was up and going through the wall into Poland and just seeing how grey everything was. It was kind of shocking, really. There was no colours. Not even the cars were colourful. That's what always stuck in my mind. The lack of colour.
No more color, man.
Well, the lack of everything, really. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We were even lucky to be under Tito because, you know, the Soviets were really tough.
Yeah.
And
I've had experience of Soviet. You know, I've been dragged off trains by gunpoint and hauled in wooden sheds in the middle of fucking nowhere. You know.
yeah. And you just released. I mean, a year ago, you released an album called "End of Days." And why is it called like that? Why is it so apocalyptic, as it was in the 80s?
It came from at the end of, well, actually when we began to record the album, it was all in the news in the UK that it was called the End of Days that day that we started for some reason. I don't really know the reason why, but you know, I don't.
We have to blame the media, right?
Yeah. And then my brother Bones, he brought up the fact that we should call it the End of Days, and I was like, yeah, I like the sound of that.
And do you guys like? I mean, you pretty much like everything from hardcore, right?
Yeah. To everything. You know,
like Bad Brains.
Yeah, we know Bad Brains. Yeah, love the Bad Brains.
And when you compare the UK hardcore with US hardcore, what is the main difference?
The main difference, I don't think attitude. I think it's pretty much on par. Maybe they tend to play a bit faster than most UK bands do. You know, but there again, I don't know. It's kind of two different cultures, but we kind of somewhere meet in the middle. Yeah. You know, we've all got shit to talk about and what have you.
And what do you have to say about it?
Yes, the fact is that listening to the American bands who were certainly a lot more musically minded and a lot more apt with their guitar playing and drumming and styles and such, and it was admirable to listen to their music. Yeah.
And what about the straight edge attitude that like bands like Black Flag had?
Well,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult. Yeah, but yeah,
it's kind of the questions you avoid asking. Giving the, you know what I mean.
But, I've been around a lot of straight edge so-called bands back in the day, like even touring with them, and they all take a sneaky drink. You know what I mean? They all take a sneaky drink. I've seen it for myself. You know what I mean? It's all lies.
Yeah, but it's boring without alcohol.
Okay, I mean, I don't drink anymore. You know what I mean? But occasionally I have a sneaky one. You know what I mean? Just to break that tension.
I don't drink at all.
I don't believe it.
It's true.
Yeah, drink a bit.
And I mean, Discharge is a pretty influential band, especially in the hardcore and thrash metal band genres. And what is your favorite Discharge cover done by some other band?
Well, I've heard that many. It's kind of an odd one to pinpoint, but I've heard some pretty good versions of. I don't know. I love various versions of Protest and Survive. You know, which.
Sound-wise, Anthrax did a good cover of it. So their sound was great for it, but I think
Napalm Death.
Ain't no feeble bastard by Sepultura. Soulfly.
Yeah, Max Cavalera's band. Yeah.
That was sensational.
He's my idol. I mean, really.
Yeah, we like. Yeah, we like it very much.
And what is like the toughest thing in this music business?
For today, airports. Airports are a bummer, man. You spend half your fucking life there, you know.
Are airports scary now?
They're not so much scary, but time, you know.
Yeah, they always lose that stuff. Just this time coming over, we had to wait an hour in the airport just to get our guitars through.
Well, they fucking jammed the guitars opening.
For some reason, well, they're sniffing around with their dogs and shit.
Okay, and what do you think about the grindcore?
In fact, in all honesty, there's all these different sub-genres of, you know, punk and different types of metal.
It's exploded into all at such a...
I don't even know what is supposed to be
It's like a hardcore version of death metal.
I gather that, but we're kind of all in the same fucking bowl, so it's, you know.
It's good that we all appreciate each other. You know what I mean? And when we meet, it's like a big get together, and then we all go our separate ways. You know.
And do you guys record? Are you going to record a new album?
We're starting work on new material.
Yeah. As we speak, we're working on new material.
Busy, you know, with getting on with life and playing, you know, as best and as often as we can, you know.
And
plus, we don't all live in the same vicinity anymore, but we kind of alleviate that, and you know, when we can, as possible. But.
And can you guys describe us how is it going to sound like? I mean, the album.
The new album, how's it going to sound? It's going to sound a lot better than the last one, hopefully.
Yeah.
We always try to make it better than the last. That's what we strive to do. I mean, but stay in the same genre. You know what I mean? Which is horrible, really, when you're an advanced musician now at our age, and you always have to think back to what you've done in the past and bring that onto the equation, rather.
I would describe it as AC/DC syndrome. I mean, you have the same formula, but you have to outdo.
Yeah, you got to kind of pull it apart, and you know, and think backwards, basically, and you know, and hopefully it gives you longevity. I mean, you know, not to quote yourself, but yeah, 40 years and we're still playing.
So you said you played in Yugoslavia, but have you played in Serbia before?
We have played in Serbia, yeah.
When?
The Exit Festival.
When?
I think the Exit Festival, like 7 years ago.
I was a little kid back then.
I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was about 7 years ago.
And do you guys have a message for Serbian fans or fans around the world?
Well, you know, come watching us, and if you're a musician, just fucking go for it, man. You know, it's just, what can you say?
Yeah, still a lot of room for new bands.
And if you've got an alcohol or drug problem, then it's your fault, man. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for this interview.
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back. Did you dig it? Yes, you did.
Yeah, hope you did. Mrs. Moonstomper.
Yes, Mr. Moonstomper.
It's
Yes.
it's a hell of a strange band, isn't it?
Strange but cool.
So I want to fast forward to End of Days, which was on, I think it was on Nuclear Blast.
Oh, right.
And what I'd say is that is actually, that is wow. That is
that proper rocking, is that?
It's a really good LP.
Yes.
But Rat left the band and they got, was it Janiak or Janiak? Yeah, okay, I never pronounced that. And then he took over the vocal duties while Tez Roberts came back to the band.
Oh, I see.
On the rhythm guitar instead of the drums.
Oh.
Making Discharge a 5-piece band for the first time.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, and so the song New World Order. And then I think that was on an EP as well. Was it New World Order? Then was it Ain't No Feeble Bastard? Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant. Go check them out. In fact, we might put those in the video. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
What do you reckon? I think so. Definitely.
You know you want to.
Yeah. And then obviously they announced an LP after that called End of Days.
Yes.
And that was, I think that was released, was it a couple of years later in 2016 or something?
2016 it was, yes.
And that for me is, I would say that's the best part of that band.
Okay.
Yeah, but the influence is far and wide.
Yes.
In fact, it's massive.
I was just thinking, End of Days, at a Nani film.
Oh, it's a brilliant
End
film.
of Days, that's
End of Days, yeah.
Yes.
Love that film.
It's a bum film.
Yeah.
Anyway, back in the room.
And then you got tracks like Hate Bomb as well. That's actually really, really, really good.
Yeah.
You know, but again, horses for courses. You know, it's not to everybody's taste, but I think it's just one of those. That's one of those LPs that you've got to give it a go. You might not like it. You might have to give it a couple of goes.
You might. I
got it first time round, but then again, being like a fan of Slayer and Metallica and stuff like that, I kind of got it straight away.
Yeah.
That's literally. I mean, we could bang on all day about this band. They're still going.
Yes.
And I think they're good.
Are they touring up and down this country or different parts of the world?
Of the different parts of the world. Yeah, definitely.
Really busy.
Yeah, go check them out.
Yes.
Go check them out. I've probably got nothing else on this band that I could really add that was of value. I mean, I could like sort of just go on and on and on and on about it all day, but I think it'd be rather boring, to be honest with you. Yeah, just check them out, guys.
You got your Duracell batteries in again?
I've run out of batteries completely, Mrs. Moonstomper.
Dear.
Mrs. Moonstomper.
Oh yes, Mr. Moonstomper.
Anything else on this band?
I think I'm the same as you. I've run out of speech.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
We could go on, but yeah, like Mr. Moonstomper says.
But I know that's all I know is that that End of Days. That's got into the UK rock charts.
Yes.
And it did really, really well, and they got a tour off the back of it and stuff like that. And it was I think it was a European tour and a US tour actually.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, it did really, really well. But yeah, that would be.
We got to the UK charts for a number 10. They reached number 10.
It was the metal charts, the rock charts. Yeah, it was the rock charts.
Come on.
Yeah, the first LP and that LP for me are the pinnacle of that band.
Wow.
Definitely.
Getting.
So, anything else on it now?
No,
good.
not this
Thank
time.
God for that. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mrs. Moonstomper, what's coming up next time?
Is it? Did you say the Ruts? You said the Ruts, didn't you? Or
No.
Haymaker.
No, those are coming up.
Oh yes.
But maybe not next week. I don't know.
Right.
I don't actually know what's coming up next week. I was asking you to see whether you knew. Apart from it'll be something.
Yes, yes.
Maybe
keep them peeled.
Maybe a bit more skinhead orientated. Maybe.
You got to keep watching to find out.
Yeah. So yeah, I think so.
I'm glad you agree.
So Mrs. Moonstomper, you got anything else?
Yeah, just want to thank all our viewers and the ones that enter the competition, and big up if you did.
Yeah.
And I hope you like your prizes.
What I say is, guys, there's like 3,000 subs.
3,000 plus.
Not everybody watches every video, which I get, but I think more people should enter. I think, what was it, 14 entrants on the last one?
Yes, it was. 14 out of that big,
Fair
huge
dues.
number.
Fair dues. Right.
Fair dues, I guess.
We'll have more
Can't
prizes coming up.
force the issue.
What I'd say is, if you liked those badges, so the badges we showed in the last video, don't forget to drop onto Custom Embroidery 23 on eBay UK, and they'll do you one of those badges. I'm sure they will. Just say you want a Moonstomper Originals badge. They kind of know we're going to give them a shout out. Like I say, we're not affiliated, we don't get paid by them, but they just did such a good job of those badges.
Brilliant job.
It was, I could not.
Masterpiece.
I could not. It'd be rude not to mention it, wouldn't it?
I know it would be rude not to.
Yeah, and the price they were charging was
reasonable.
It was cheap.
More than reasonable?
No, it was way cheaper. Believe you me, I priced those up a long time ago, and they were coming at ridiculous prices. But also they do. So if you've got a scooter club, I consider do back patches, that type of thing. So if you've got a vectored logo, send it off to those guys, and they'll do it for you.
What they do you for.
Yeah,
yes.
and it was a couple of weeks, two or 3 weeks turnaround, which I thought was really, really good. So yeah, give them some love, guys. Yeah. definitely.
Oh yes.
And tell them Moonstomper Original sent you. Not that we get a kickback for it or anything, but
You never know.
no, exactly. Well, we don't particularly want one because the channel's not about making music, is it? Money.
Money.
Yeah, it's about.
Like I always say, it's about the love.
It's about the love, and it's about it. Yeah, and it's a community as well. So, guys,
Yes.
in the comments,
Get down.
what's been on your rotation this week, and if you haven't said what your guilty secret is in terms of music, not other things, then get down in the comments. We would love to hear, honestly. And there's been some amazing stuff.
Yes, all sorts of genres and
Yeah, from Tom Jones to what was it,
oh dear,
was it the Eagles or something? Then there was
Neil Diamond was one as well.
Neil Diamond. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
You know, but all great musicians.
Yes.
All great musicians. So I didn't feel too bad for my Bee Gees sort of thing, you know.
I think Bee Gees are brilliant.
I think they are as well.
They're right for so many artists.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I've got loads of guilty pleasures in terms of music, that is, I hasten to add.
Oh man.
So, nothing else, Mrs. Moonstomper?
Nothing else.
Alright, guys, this has been short and sweet. We do apologise. We didn't know much about Discharge, but we gave it a go. We wanted to say something about them, only because I like those 2 LPs.
Yes.
The rest of it's just okay, but just those 2 LPs, more than anything.
Of course.
Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed, then please do so. It'll help us immensely. The plan is to get to 5,000 subs by the end of the year. Now, if we get to 5,000 subs by the end of the year, it means we'll have to have another prize giveaway.
Yes, oh gosh.
So
they're going to hold us to it.
Well, it could be t-shirt time again, could it not?
Anything.
Yeah. It could well be t-shirt time, or it could be badge time, or it could be
badge.
We'll have to wait and see.
Mugs, pens, coasters. No.
I'm going to have to work some serious overtime for this. Okay, fair enough. No, okay, if it is, it is. Thanks, Mrs. Moonstomper. Spend my money, why don't you? Which she's rather good at anyway. So nothing else?
Nah.
Cool, right, me too.
Okay.
Nothing else. So guys, I've been Mr. Moonstomper as ever. I love you all. Much peace, much love. Peace out.
Thank you, Moonstompers. Thank you for everything. I love your support. I've been Mrs. Moonstomper. See you next time. Bye.
If we are attacked by nuclear weapons, these are the warning sounds you must recognize. First, the attack warning. If an attack is expected, the sirens will sound a rising and falling note like this.